Welcome, beautiful. I am so excited and so happy that you're here to the Enrich Your Vision masterclass. We're going to dive into creating the most beautiful vision for your life and moving through the planning process, the curating process, all of it, so that you can create this vision, know your role in the vision, how to show up for it, and to also sit back and relax and allow it to come to life and allow yourself to experience the vision that you are in setting here in a really fulfilling and enriched and empowering way. For those of you who have not met me yet, my name is Rachel White. I am a coach, author, a lifelong experimental creator. I've dipped my toes and fully immersed in many different things within the personal development and spiritual space. And now my services are created with the intention to hold space for enriching experiences, for women to really connect with the depth of who they are and their full expression, and to really live a life that feels like art to them. I have coaching programs, all of the things which you can explore on my website and on my Instagram, and you can reach out to me anytime you want to chat about coming more in my space. I love creating vision boards. I have, before my journey in the coaching and spiritual personal development space, I had a professional accounting career, and before that, I was, at university, and through all that time, I was very into setting goals, setting ambitious goals, knowing what I wanted, having a vision for the future. I've set vision boards for a very long time, and over that time, I really adjusted and tweaked and shifted my process. There's a lot of things I used to do, like the SMART goal structure we've all been taught, that I've completely thrown out the window. And the process that I'm going to walk you through now is what I've been doing for the last few years. And it allows you to create a vision in a very grounded and enriching and inspiring way that doesn't put pressure on you, that doesn't leave you at the end of the year disappointed if not absolutely everything in your vision came to life in the perfect way. And it's because we're focusing more on the energy and what you're prioritizing and what you're really wanting to show up for in life. And it's so different than just having a list of goals and a checklist and a to-do list of things to do and things that you think you should do and should focus on. I want you to come into this knowing that you are truly, truly, truly deserving of a fulfilling, enriched, radiant life, and an enriched life that feels enriched and radiant to you. And there's no one way that should look. It's really about what is the way you are meant to be living your life, or that you want to be living your life. And that is your enriched vision. So just think about, or just have at the back of your mind, to view the ways you've been limiting your vision because you think this is the limit of what I'm able to have, even though I want a little bit more or a little bit different. You are truly deserving of what you desire, and everything you desire can be incorporated into your vision. You don't need to hold yourself back, and you can really lean into your delusional dreams and know that if you desire it, it is possible to experience in some way that is truly aligned with the life that you're living. Enriching your vision really highlights where you have settled. When you truly tune into what you really want, you realize where you have settled with those self-imposed limitations, and also where you've been trying to achieve something that actually isn't what you want. It's just been either planted in your mind or you've been a little stubborn around it. We're going to soften those edges as well, so that your vision is truly a representation of how you actually want to live your life. Your life is a work of art, a beautiful story that you get to live. So beautiful. All right, so let's talk a little about the power of your vision, the power of having a vision rather than just blindly moving through life, having this pulling force that is It's like you're creating the vision, which is like this magnet that is pulling you closer to it. Having your vision allows you to get clear on what to pour your focus and direction on. Having that vision gives you a direction to move forward to instead of just aimlessly wandering. And there's nothing wrong with, sometimes you might go through phases where, especially if you've been focused on goals and visions and everything for so long, like sometimes you need a little pause and a little to take a little beat to just aimlessly wander and to see what happens. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And then when it comes to your long-term vision and tuning into what you really want for your entire life, you'll come to a point where it's like, okay, it's time to tune back in, to lock back into what do I want and what vision is going to give me focus and direction. And the vision has to be clear, because if just say you make a vision board full of things that you don't actually want, then okay, you may move in that direction, but there'll be a lot of resistance within it, and the journey won't be fun. And the most important thing is that the journey is fun. Defining your vision and having a clear and focused vision also allows for this stronger mental filter and clearer priorities when it comes to the journey that you're moving on. We have our RSA, our reticular activating system, our mental filter that determines what is important to us. And when we put an importance to our vision that we create, our mind, this powerful, powerful mind of ours, allows us to see the things that are aligned with that vision and the things that will allow us to move forward to that vision. The things that we don't deem important, our mind doesn't allow us to see. We are exposed to billions of bits of information every second of every day, and we cannot possibly consciously process all of it. So our mental filter needs something to be the filter, which is our vision. Something that I want to say when it comes to creating this vision is let the process take time. This isn't something that you need to rush. This isn't something that you need to do in that kind of limbo week between Christmas and New Year, or the last few days before the New Year. You don't need to rush it to have it done by New Year's Eve. Let it take time, especially if this is the first time or the first time in a long time or a while that you are really giving yourself the space to really tune into what it is that you really want. Sometimes a lot of the time, things need to really percolate and stir within us so we can gently contemplate them like in the background of our life, so that we can come to these deep insights within ourselves. When we try to think through our vision, there's this forceful element. Whereas when we plant the seeds that we want to create a vision and want to truly connect to what it is that we really want, things just naturally rise to the surface for us to become aware of. And these revelations drop in, these insights come to the surface of our mind, and we can move forward with whatever comes up. And we can hold space for ourselves and give dedicated space to really tune into these things. But I don't want you to rush. I want you to really trust the process, that it is a process that can take time and takes space for it to really come to life. And the vision is how you're going to live your life. So that's not a plan or something that you need to rush through when it's going to influence your entire life. Something that I wanted to mention is that the subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of our thoughts, actions, and therefore behaviors. So having these images and that filter that I talked about allows the 95% of the time that we are in unconscious autopilot to be serving our vision and to be moving to our vision. And if you If you don't have a vision, then there's something else that is your filter. And that could be your limiting beliefs. It could be any limitation you've put on yourself, could be the filter that your subconscious mind is trying to prove right. Whereas if we replace that with our vision, that's what our subconscious mind works towards proving us right in. If we have that vision, the powerful thing about the mind is that it thinks in images. So when we move through this vision process and create a powerful image for this vision, our mind thinks in pictures and recognizes those pictures to move us towards actually living them in our life. The brain cannot tell the difference between an imagined experience and a real experience in terms of how it influences the body and our emotional body and our energy as well. So having this vision allows our body to feel like we already have it, and it starts to ground the safety of having this vision in our body. So again, our subconscious mind works in all of these unconscious, subconscious behaviors, thoughts, and actions we're doing to actually bring more of those things into our life and bring the safety of having those things in our life. Let's talk about the realms of life. When it comes to creating your vision board and creating the vision for your life, often a lot of the time, there's kind of one or maybe two areas that are a predominant focus for you. Sometimes it might be like health and relationships, or health, relationships, money, the top three for a lot of people. And there could also be this very kind of like limited scope on how you're viewing those realms of your life. So I want you to really think about your entire life, all the realms of your life, when you are thinking about and when you are contemplating the vision that you have for your entire life. We have health and wellness, financial, career, business, education, learning, travel, adventure, fun, relationships, spiritual, creation, community giving, environment, home. And they could be other realms that are really specific and unique to you. And there can be so many subcategories under these realms of life. And there may be, well, there probably is a lot of like strings connected and overlap between these realms and these categories. So begin to play with defining what are the realms of your life. You can use the exact ones that I have here, or you can create your own names. You can be creative with the names that you give these things. Instead of financial, like you could call it your like money consciousness or whatever you want to call it. So you can rename these, you can combine, you can create even like subcategories, whatever. I want you to name and label all of the realms of your life, and have just a little, like, even if it's dot points underneath, like what comes under these realms for you. For your health and wellness, you could have different categories, subcategories for your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, your energy, your fertility, your body. It can be whatever it is. Play with the realms of your life, name them what feels right for you, and just tune into what is happening in that realm of your life right now. It's like doing a little life audit. What is happening in that realm of your life right now? And is it fulfilling? Is it enriching? Does it feel good? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But this is the first step. And this is a foundational step, one, not to skip. Sometimes we want to go straight to, it's like, I already know. I want to buy a house. I want to lose weight. I want a relationship. We have a lot of the time, like our big ticket items come straight to our mind. But really, it's the little details that bring a lot more enrichment to our life and to the journey of actually living our life. And often they're forgotten if we don't really tune into what does our whole life actually look like and what are the elements that make it up. So this is the first step, defining your realms of life and what comes under each of them. Imagine living your dream life in every realm of your life. So at the moment, we're still looking at your life in different departments. In each department, in each realm, imagine living your dream, like your dream in your relationships, your dream in your home and different environments that you're constantly in, your dream financial situation, your dream health and wellness situation. What is the dream in each of these individual realms of your life? Label the realms of your life. We talked about this, and really important for like what falls within each of these realms for you. And then do your current life audit. What is already really beautiful and really enriching about that part of your life? You could already have, if you're focused on family, it could be that you already have such a beautiful family, like a beautiful partner, a beautiful child, maybe a beautiful extended family if you want to bring that in as well. But you want another baby, or there's a shift that you want to make in that area. But focus on like acknowledge what is already really beautiful, what is already really enriching. And then for each realm as well, what really needs some TLC? What needs tweaks? What is draining in that area? And also, if you were to like remove all limitations, what would be the most visionary dream you have for that area of your life? What's like the big dream? If there were just no limits at all, if you had all the time, all the money, all the freedom, all the self-confidence, whatever you feel like is actually holding you back from the big thing that you want in that area of your life, what would be that visionary dream? And I want you to just play, like this is just playtime, to play and imagine what that vision would be. And sometimes we can think, I want $1 billion and like throw out all these things, but it's like, does that actually feel good? Like, can you imagine yourself living that life? Like, how would that actually feel? And what is that vision? Can you imagine yourself living in such an enriched and beautiful way? So once you have this big dream for each realm, I want you to start imagining, and this is a really important step, imagine all the specific elements or the little details that are enriching to daily life. So if you're imagining, just say financial, you imagine the big dream is having $1 billion or $1 million, whatever it is. What would you be spending that money on? How would you feel when you look at that account balance, when you open your phone? What would you be wearing differently? Like, how would having that actually change your life? And what are the little details? Maybe you would have the most elaborate flower bouquet hand delivered every day. Whatever it is, like literally whatever it is, what are the specific details that would be different in your life? And some of the elements may be the same. You may keep some details that are already a part of your life, but what are the specific details of living within that vision? So get really like detailed when it comes to that. And from everything you have dreamed of, so you've looked at all the different realms individually, create a little bit, and this is just a draft at this point, a little bit of a priorities list for the next 12 months. What would be your highest priorities to bring to life? And what are you willing to put energy and effort into bringing to life? So with the financial, this having $1 billion thing, that may be something that it's like, if I won the lottery or if it was given to me, I would take it and I would love it. But I'm not actually willing to put any of my own effort into making that happen. So I want you to feel the difference between like the visions that are like, yes, if it fell on my lap, I'd love it, but it's actually not something I'm willing to put energy into. And the ones that it's like, this is my vision, I want this, and I'm willing to play my role and do my part in it. And they are actually the more enriching parts of your vision, because they're the ones that are going to take you on a really beautiful journey that is your life, that isn't just focused on the end goal, but actually living the vision to live in that way and to have whatever that thing is. What are the priorities? And what are you willing to put your energy into? And some of these big visions may be things that will span over longer than 12 months, but are you willing to start putting energy and effort in now to bring those things to life, to live in that way? Not all parts of your vision may necessarily have like an end point where it's like, okay, it's done, I have this thing. Some things may, but some things may be more about how you live every day and how you experience yourself and your life and your relationships. And those ones are really important to note, like what you're willing to put energy into. Once you have that detail and that specific detail about each of the realms of your life and your priorities within those realms and overall, then only then is it time to zoom out and to see the big picture of your whole life. So, or like I said before, like a lot of the realms of life will overlap and will, like, of course, your relationships are going to influence your health and your finances will influence your travel and your adventure and all of those things. So see the big picture of your whole life and how all of these visions, and this may have already started to naturally happen as you were imagining the specific details, but see how all of this, like all of your visionary dreams, overlap and integrate and interact with each other. How do you imagine living your entire life, your days, your weeks, your months? Like, how do you imagine living your entire life? And how do your priorities from within each realm of your life integrate together? You may have a very high priority on something within your career that conflicts with your priorities within your family and relationships. Can you kind of soften the edges around those things and see how they could integrate and become like prioritized together? Or are there priorities that you feel do need to be sacrificed? And then when you think in that way, it becomes clear what your priorities actually are, or what you have been prioritizing in the past, and how there may be a shift. Like maybe you have been prioritizing finances over some relationships, and that is actually something you want to shift. And sometimes that can create this inner conflict through scarcity wounds and whatever other limitations we've put on ourselves. And you don't need to think about the detail and the change in action right now. It's just about like, what do you actually prioritize? What are you committed to prioritizing for the next 12 months and beyond? Looking at the whole picture of your life, what is the overall vibe, the overall energy? When you think about like the big picture and all these different elements, like what is the overall energy? Is there feelings that entices? Is there words that entices? Is there feeling to the energy? There may not be words to bring to it. And what are your priorities for your overall life? What are you willing to be devoted to be committed to in a devoted and disciplined way? Because it is so important to you, because it is so deep in your heart that this is the way you want to live your life, and this is the vision that you want to bring to life. Remember that you cannot give all of your energy and attention to everything. But that is liberating, because not everything is actually important to you. And the things, you get to decide what you give your energy to. You get to decide what is truly important to you. And what you do give your energy is what you're communicating and showing to the world that is important to you. This is where that life audit before of the thing, like highlighting the things you may have been neglecting, is really important, because this vision is really going to allow you the space to shift your priorities, and in the way that you show up for those things, in the way that you are devoted for those things and committed to those things. When your priorities are clear, you become so much more grounded in clarity of just a willingness to, I'm showing up for these things, and the action becomes clear. The inspired action becomes clear, but you need that grounded clarity first on what is important and what you are prioritizing. This clarity is the difference. This clarity in your priorities is the difference between feeling like your vision board is just some idealistic, unrealistic expectations that becomes overwhelming. So you kind of make it's pretty, and then you abandon it within the first month of the year. It's a difference between that or a vision board that becomes this consistent source of grounding and inspiration to really direct your focus to what is important, regardless of what you've already ticked off, regardless of how you've shown up in the last week or day, regardless of anything. It's something that can continuously ground you and inspire you, rather than make you feel like shit that you haven't been showing up for it. It's all about the energy and that reminder, but it needs to be really in tune with what you really value and what you really want and what you're really prioritizing. So rather than seeing your vision board as this collage of ambitious goals that you're actually not willing and not devoted to put energy into, it becomes this visual representation of what you are devoted to, what you're devoted to committing to throughout the year, and the priorities that you will give your energy and attention to. Your vision board is your intention, and it is okay for your desires to shift or to expand throughout the year, and for your for the way that you show up for those things to shift. You could expand past your vision board very early on in the year and make a new one. It's not something that anchors you down in a way that is like heavy and keeps you limited. It's something that keeps you grounded, so you feel liberated to move in a way that is actually enriching to your life. Your initial grounded clarity will be the thing that helps you shift and expand when that becomes relevant for your life. A really powerful reflection question when it comes to the commitment you have for your dreams, your desires, your goals, is if this vision you have was to take another 5 years to fully come to life, would you still be committed to prioritizing it and showing up for it? And if not, maybe parts of your vision is something that you don't really want. It's just something you want to be given, not something you want to be, that you want to show up for. And this is where like that devoted commitment is so important, because if we don't have that, we can be in this energy of constantly looking for proof, or constantly looking to the universe to prove that we are deserving of things by giving us things, rather than having the grounded confidence that it's like, I'm showing up for this, so of course it will show up for me, and of course I'm in the momentum of bringing it to life. And in that way, you don't need the tangible proof that it's working or the vision board is working. It's about your commitment and your devotion to how you're living your entire life and what you're showing up for in your entire life. So think about like, what are you actually truly, truly devoted to? And that last point is what I just talked about. Okay, so when you've looked at the realms of your life, you've got really specific, you've zoomed out, you've looked at the big picture, make tweaks as you go. Now it's time to curate a gallery to capture the vibe, to capture this energy of this vision that you have. The images that you use on your vision board are so important because, like I said before, the brain processes in pictures. Using imagery to define your vision helps to bypass the thinking mind that, talks you in circles. It bypasses that and goes straight into programming that powerful filter within your subconscious mind. And like I talked about before, the subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of our thoughts, actions, and behaviors. So when we program the subconscious mind to align with our vision, we align all our subconscious behavior and thoughts with our desired reality, which is so powerful in bringing that vision to life. The images you use for your vision board. Okay, I put the same point there accidentally. So gather your images that represent your vision. I love to use Pinterest. You can use anything that you like, but gather the images. You can use Google, you can use pictures you've taken, you can use whatever. Pinterest is really fun though. So gather the images that capture the mood, the vibe in what you will show up for. In Pinterest, if you search for an image, just say like wellness images, then you can make your own board. You can make it private if you don't want others to see. I like to use searches like aesthetic wellness or like aesthetic whatever. I use the word aesthetic so in like pretty much every single Pinterest search. And then once you start adding a few images, if you go into your board, Pinterest will have like recommendations and you can add more. You may find ones that you like more. So just start to have a collection of pictures. You'll filter through these to pick the ones that you actually want on your board. But just curate this collection of images that really capture what it is, what is the energy that you want to be living in your vision. When gathering your images, focus more on the energy and the mood and your big picture, as well as symbols of the specific elements. Like when you got down to the specific details of living the enriched version in each of the realms, maybe like a specific thing is that every morning you bake a loaf of bread with your daughter, or you get out of bed and take a big stretch. Like if those are really specific things that are going to be very enriching to you, find a picture that is like exactly that. Or if it is buy a house or a kind of specific goal thing as well, you can have symbols that represent those things as well. Don't let any image be random. Be very intentional with the images that you select because these images are so important. You can also include images from your actual life, from the parts of your life that already feel really enriched and really fulfilling. You can put a picture of your family. You can put a picture of your home if you're already in your dream home. Like your vision is about your vision for your entire life, not just what you're lacking, not just what you don't have. It's about what you're showing up for in your whole life. And there may be things you already have that you want to keep nurturing and keep showing up for. So it is powerful to include pictures from your actual life. And you can also do a little Photoshop, even if it's very like amateur. You could literally like draw on pictures or do it digitally. If there's something that you have but you want like a little tweak, it could be like a screenshot of your bank account and you just add another zero to the end of that, or shift it. It could be that like a family picture and then you add a little baby next to it if you want another baby. It could be anything. You can tweak the pictures of things that already exist in your life. And if things in your life are already really amazing, include those pictures as well. You could also do like, if you want to upgrade your style, like a picture of you and then get like pictures of clothes that you want and put them on top of you, or whatever it is. You can have fun with it. Be creative. So after you've started to gather those images, it's time to bring a little more definition. And this comes into more of like the planning of actually putting in your role and effort to bring this vision to life. What are the goals and the milestones that are going to kind of earmark how you are living this vision and where you are living your vision? What are the big goals and what are the upcoming moments? So sometimes when people think of goals, they can exclude things that they already know are definitely going to happen. If you're getting married through the year, include that. It may not be a goal per se at the point that the wedding's already planned, but it's a big moment and it's probably going to be an amazing thing. Like the things that you already know are going to happen, maybe things about your birthday celebration, whatever it may be. What are the big upcoming moments? What are the big goals? What are the things that you know you want to come to life within the year? And what specific milestones can you celebrate within your journey to these goals or to these things that you want to bring to life? What are the tangible moments that will allow you to recognize your progress and that you are living in alignment with your vision? If you're writing a book, it could be like every 1,000 words or 10,000 words that you write, like that's a milestone to celebrate. If you're saving money for something, it could be like every $1,000 or whatever number it is that you recognize and that you celebrate. Especially when it comes to big goals, sometimes we can just focus on, okay, I'm not there yet. I don't have this big thing yet. So bringing in these milestones is so important to recognize that you are in momentum, you are moving towards these things, and it gives you this space to celebrate and to recognize the way that you have been showing up for your vision. After defining your specific goals, you may like to add more images to your Pinterest board to really represent these specific milestones that you're committing to celebrate within the year. And you could even have like a little treat for yourself ready. It could be like with the book example, it could be like every 10,000 words, you have a little present wrapped up already that you're going to open, or you're going to book in a massage, or you're going to take yourself out on a coffee date, whatever it could be. It could be when you like finish the first draft, when you submit it for publishing, when you sell your first copy. Like there's all these really exciting milestones when it comes to writing a book, but equally in any goal, if it comes to like buying your house, having a baby. Like I'm thinking of the big things that people often think about, like when it comes to your health goals. There's so many milestones that if you don't define them, it's easy to just pass by them and to just keep focusing on like getting to the end. But give yourself these check-in points when it comes to the journey. And the celebration isn't about withholding celebration until you're at a certain point. It's about bringing celebration to these milestone moments. And it could be as simple as pouring yourself like a beautiful cup of tea or your favorite drink in a beautiful glass and cheering to yourself or to a loved one in honor of this milestone of moving towards this thing that you want. Or it could be a bigger celebration. It's really up to you how you celebrate, but recognizing and acknowledging is so, so important, but also going through this planning of defining what are these moments and how do I affirm to myself that I am making progress and moving towards these things and bringing this vision to life. And you can get as detailed as you want with this. My planning last year I was in a very like soft era where I did have planning. Like I knew what the milestones were, but there wasn't anything that there wasn't a lot of it was it kind of naturally came to life and there were natural celebration moments. Whereas this year for 2025, I'm doing like a lot more planning and there's a lot more like measurement. There's a lot more things that can be measured and things that I'm putting like a lot more of my fiery energy into bringing to life. So different years will have different energies for you, and you can bring in the level of planning that feels right for your vision that you have at different points in time. Now, let's focus on your commitment to action. We've talked about your devoted commitment to your priorities. And now let's talk about the actual action that you'll take. What devoted action is required from you for each part of your vision? If part of your vision is saving a certain amount of money, then it's required of you to, each time you get paid, put a percentage or a certain amount in a different account. Or it could be as simple as that. Or it could be some more discipline around spending certain amounts, or it could be some action towards bringing in more income. Like whatever it is, there's no right or wrong action here. It's about what is the devoted action that is required from you. Like how can you show up for these things that you are saying and declaring to yourself are important in your life? Once you have that action, and this is where it is important to kind of like get detailed, but not in a way that is stressful, like in a way that's actually fun. Like what daily, weekly, monthly, or one-off actions am I really committed to doing in devotion to my vision and in devotion to what I am showing up for? And then ask yourself, what support or resources do you need or want to support you in the most beautiful, enriching, and fulfilling way to show up for these actions? And this support and resources can be things that come from yourself. They can also be things that are external to you. So the big question when it comes to the support is, what would make your required actions easier for you to stay committed to? An example for me is that something I'm really focused on, one of my priorities for 2025 is around my house. I can be very slack with laundry, dishes, those kind of like household things. And something like part of the vision I have is to be more on top of those things. It sounds so boring when I say it like that, but it's part of like the environment, part of my environment, that I want it to be more clean and airy and not stressful and not build up these kind of things. So something that I did, two things I did for specific dishes and laundry was I bought a mini dishwasher. There's not space in my house for like a full-size dishwasher, but then I just had this random thought, oh my God, I'll get a mini dishwasher. And I looked into it and found one. It actually arrived yesterday, so I haven't set it up yet. But that's something that I feel like is really going to help me stay on top of doing the dishes, because it's just like a lot of it made it draining. So it's about looking at what things do I know I want to be committed to doing, but what parts of it make it really draining for me, and how can I shift that? And so for me, having this mini dishwasher, I feel like is going to make a big shift and actually really help and support me keep on top of having a clean sink and clean kitchen and space in my kitchen. Something that I did with my clothes, so like doing laundry is like a lot of it was like actually doing it, but then hanging my clothes back in my cupboard and having clothes like all over my bedroom floor, something that was an issue. But I want my bedroom to feel like a really clean space. I want the floor to be clear. So I actually moved all of my clothes into the spare room. And if I bring in a basket of clothes, I'm going to take it straight to the spare room. And I feel like that's going to help keep my bedroom floor clear all the time. So they're just two little shifts where it's like looking at, like it felt draining for me to look at baskets of clothes on my bedroom floor because I put it there with the intention to prompt me to put them in my cupboard. But just putting it in the spare room and letting my bedroom be a clean and safe space feels more energizing. And those little shifts are going to really support me. So what are the things that actually like what are the action you're committed to taking, but what are the draining elements that sometimes prevent you from showing up? For some people, it's like they need to feel like they have a clean home before they can sit down and relax and do anything. So it may be that you're going to take yourself out of your house to do certain things, or you're going to hire a cleaner, or you're going to instead of like waiting to the night to clean, you're going to do it first thing in the morning. Whatever it is, like these are just throwing out things to prompt you to be open to solutions. Like, don't be, this is draining, that's just how it is, it's going to be like that forever. Come with the energy of like, how can I shift so that I have the energy to show up for this committed action? And those little shifts to clear the things that are draining just naturally opens your creative energy to show up in a more powerful, present, and fired up way to your committed actions and to the things that you're devoted to and the things that are going to help you bring your vision to life. So if the structure isn't working for you to stay committed, change the structure, change the way you're showing up for things and the space you have to show up for the things that are important to you. Once you've been through that planning and you have all your pictures, so all of that planning is going to keep influencing the pictures that feel right to include on your vision board. So you've been through all of that. You've got your refined list of your curated images, and then you're going to make your vision board. You're going to print the pictures out. I recommend having a hard copy. You can make a digital copy as well, but have a hard copy, even if it's small, massive, whatever size feels right for you. Print it out, glue it on your vision board. You can be as creative as you want. On my vision boards, I like to kind of keep groups of like, this is a specific element, a goal or realm of life, and keep them a little separate. You can mix them all up and have it as like, just this is the whole big picture of life. You can stick them on the vision board in whatever way you feel creatively inspired to in the moment. And then display your art. Your vision board is a work of art. Keep it somewhere that you will see every day. I kept mine above my desk for 2024. Other years I've kept it in my bedroom, wherever feels right. Keep it somewhere that you will look at every single day, but that it won't just fall into the background, like somewhere your eyes will be directed to every single day, and look at it with presence. Celebrate what you have created and the reality that you are aligning yourself with. You may have a little ceremony after you've created it to really like gaze at it and really feel like, how does it feel in my body to know that this is the vision I am showing up for and devoted to living? Look at it like that as many times, like having it somewhere you see every day prompts you to have that connection every day. And you can make more copies. You can take a picture to have as your phone screensaver. I like to print. So I have like my main one above my desk, but then I have one like inside my journal, on my phone, some other places sometimes. So you can create multiple copies as well. And that can be a fun way to just reconnect with it in different ways and in different areas. And you can print all the planning work that you've done. Like if you've written things down, you can have that printed and clear. And so with your vision board as well, you can keep it just images, or you can also add writing. Sometimes I do add writing. Sometimes in some years I haven't. I have been in the energy of writing things down for the last few years, and I probably will for my 2025 one, of just like, it can be keywords, or it can be, you can write in present tense of like currently manifesting my dream home, my dream relationship, whatever it is. You can be very specific with that, or you can just let the images speak for themselves. Like that is completely up to you. So you've made your vision board, it's on display, and now let's talk about what you're going to do with it throughout the year. So the first one is set a monthly time to even though every day you're going to be looking at it, set a time where you can have this monthly reflection to really gaze at your vision board and really acknowledge yourself for the ways that you have shown up for your vision and some areas of your vision that maybe you haven't fully shown up for, and what you can tweak and adjust for the next month. It may also be highlighted to you where your priorities have maybe shifted. And the thing also is that there are going to be things that happen in your year that you couldn't possibly imagine or predict right now. Like there could be a massive life event happen that completely derails or just puts on the back burner parts of your vision. And that is okay. So have this monthly reflection to ground yourself and to remind yourself on the things to show up for, but to also give yourself grace and don't give yourself a hard time. Like acknowledge the things you have dealt with and shown up for that weren't part of your planning and weren't part of your vision as well. But have that monthly reflection just with yourself and put it in your calendar, schedule it in. You can set it for like the first Friday of the month or whatever it is that works for you. Just have that time where you will be reminded to have this reflection with your vision and with your vision board. And your vision board gives you that physical anchor to look at and to tune into, like, how have I actually been living my life? How have I actually been showing up for my life? The second, which is really fun, is to take pictures throughout the year that capture you living your vision board. Something I did for 2024, which was so fun, is that when I made my vision board, so around this time last year, I thought, wouldn't it be so amazing to recreate my vision board with actual pictures from my life next year? And I made an Instagram reel where I showed like vision board and reality. And it was really fun to really intentionally take pictures throughout the year of the ways that I was showing up for my vision. And I made like a monthly wrap kind of photo collage of how I lived each month. And it was really fun to kind of recognize like these things are like straight off my vision board and were a part of my vision board, and the things that I'm recognizing now. So you can make that little photo collage monthly of different ways that it reflects your vision board, or you can do it at the end of the year. But just be mindful of like capturing these moments that you can mentally capture them. But I think taking pictures is really fun to recognize like how you're actually really showing up for this vision, and like you did that, brought that reality to life. Something else that's fun is that if this is more for like specific elements within your vision board, if you've achieved certain goals that are represented on your vision board, to tick them off, like physically tick them off the vision board as they come to life. The first thing last year, for this year, for 2024, was part of my vision board was to go to the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. And at the time that I put that on my vision board, like it was already like sold out, millions of people still trying to get tickets, but I put it on my vision board and I ended up going. And so taking that off was like amazing. And another part was like there was a book that I wanted to make of like all my Nonna's recipes. That's something that I have just ticked off like at the end of the year. So they were like specific elements, and there were a few other things too. But the specific things, like ticking them off, or you can put a heart around them or mark them, that's like, that is something that has fully come to life. That can be really fun to celebrate and recognize when it happens. This is something I mentioned a little earlier, but you can have a little gift ready for yourself for certain milestones that you reach. If it's something that is a process, like I had the example of writing a book, but something where there are like a lot of tangible milestones on a really long journey, like having something ready for yourself to unwrap or to experience can just be such a fun gift to your future self, and fun to recognize. Something else I've seen, I haven't done this, but I've seen some people creating it, is like bingo cards for their 2025, where they'll write like different milestones and different things and like have a gift for when they get bingo. That can be really fun. Like you can have fun and be creative with all the ways you celebrate yourself throughout the year, and give yourself touch points and connection points with how you're living your vision and how this vision is coming to life. The last is just this giving yourself grace and the reminder that some of your vision may need longer than the 12 months that we usually create a vision board for to come to fruition. You may even have like a section on your vision board that you know is for longer term things that you're putting energy into now, but you may not fully see the full realization of it until a few years down the line, or 13 months or 14 months or whatever it may be. Some things may happen very quickly and come to life like immediately. Some things might be right on schedule, but some things are for the longer term. And some things you may not see any progress in. Like there's something that's been on my vision board for years. And when I put it on for 2024, I really felt like 2024 is the year. And it wasn't, but that's okay. I'm still very devoted, still very devoted, and still showing up for it completely wholeheartedly. And there's other things that, like the Taylor Swift thing, like that happened in Feb. So that got ticked off like so early on in the year. There's something like I went to Italy for 10 weeks this year. I had on my vision board, like connecting to Italy, learning Italian. And I had this feeling that it's like, oh, I probably won't go until 2025 or 2026 though. But then it ended up going for the like at the end of 2024, which was amazing. Sometimes the timeline is brought up a little, sometimes it's pushed out a little, and time, like when we think about things taking 1 year longer or 2 years longer, when it comes to these visions that we are really devoted to, like that is relatively such a short amount of time for things to shift. Even though I have to wait a whole another year, it can sound like a lot when we feel like we are waiting for something. But if we shift that perspective and it's like, this is just the vision that this is the vision I'm showing up for and devoted to. Time is relative. And if we're enjoying the enriched life that we are living, that is the journey into these visions, then it doesn't feel like we have to wait for things or like we're being made to wait for things. Like you are deserving of everything you desire right now. And there is a journey for a lot of things to come to life. So if you have any questions about anything I've covered, please reach out to me. I would always love to hear from you. You can email me. You can reach out at by Rachel White on Instagram. I would absolutely love for you to take a screenshot or a picture to share that you have watched this masterclass. I would love for you to share your biggest insight or your favorite moment. Please tag me at by Rachel White so I can see that you are watching. I would absolutely love that and appreciate it so much. Again, any questions, please let me know. I hope you feel very grounded and ready to create your enriched vision, whether you're watching this for 2025 or sometime in the future. You are so deserving of living that enriched vision. And I just want to end with, if you want to work with me in 2025 to have a really enriched year, there are 2 offers I want to mention, and that is Metamorphosis. This is my 10-week private coaching for you to dissolve what is limiting you, what weighs heavy on you, to really embrace the full radiance of who you actually are. You come into a very safe, nurturing cocoon with me and become very activated in being the full expression of yourself. It's a structured 10-week journey we go through. The first week is all about like your vision, and we go through deconstructing and rewiring your mindset, energy. The whole process is laid out on the website. There'll be a link in the email you'll get about this. So have a look at Metamorphosis if you want this very nurturing and activating and supportive and beautiful experience, one-on-one support with me for a potent 10-week period. Reach out and we can talk about it. You can see all the details for it on my website. And the second is a group container. Poetic is a 7-week journey to play with your poetic expression. And this is a really enriching place to play with how words can help you connect with the depth and the wisdom within yourself, and also your emotions and your sensual self and your spiritual self and your poetic self that has so much to say, that doesn't often get the space to just communicate and express these poetic musings that are stirring within you. Poetic is such a beautiful experience. It's one of my favorite group containers. So this will be the 4th round. I run it again and again because it is so amazing. There's details to Poetic on my website as well. You can have a look, reach out if you have any questions. This is going to start around the end of Jan. So until the end of December, just a few days left. Early bird is still available, where you get a few bonuses. You get a bonus tarot reading, you get the early bird discount, and some other things as well. And at the start of Jan, I'll announce the actual day that we start. It'll be around within the last couple of weeks of Jan. And the price will go up slightly as well. So if you have any questions about either of these 2 offers, like, please reach out to me. I would love to hear from you and love to welcome you into either of these spaces. Thank you so much for being here. Sending you big love. Have such a beautiful day, and I hope to connect with you more soon.